Hey, welcome to the Bluejay Banter post-game show. We're live here at Let It Fly Sports Bar in downtown Omaha after the Jays' big win over Providence, 84-64. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe and like button. It helps us out a ton. And also join in the interactive chat down below, and we'll answer your questions and talk about your comments and so forth. We're going to jump right into Coach's Corner with Director of Basketball Operations, Jeff Vandeluke. Coach, congrats.
Thanks a lot, fellas.
It was nice to have a breather for a change.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of those in the Big East, man. So whenever you get one, you better just be happy.
What were the keys going into the game? What were you guys looking to do?
Well, we really wanted to push the ball and try to get some stuff in transition. Really wanted to try to get the ball inside to Ryan, and I thought we did a good job. You know, and I don't know what Ryan exactly was. He missed a couple and didn't quite get it close to the hoop enough, but he's still a pretty valuable tool down there.
We were just talking before you arrived. You know, you just shake your head, and you just sometimes don't appreciate Kalkbrenner, because once he blocks one or two, pretty soon that 15-foot, 12-foot gap around the rim is empty. Nobody will challenge us.
I can't tell you how many guys I've seen this year dribble the ball in there and dribble it right back on out. I mean, Marquette did that all night. It's like they've all been told, don't waste your time in here.
And then it's interesting too when you see somebody get the ball out 20 feet and you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and swat it, and then okay, now we're dribbling it out again.
Yep.
You know?
We don't always appreciate him as much as we should. There's no question about that. He's what a career he's had.
Great bench points tonight, man.
Yeah, Isaac came off.
Isaac played great, man.
And Mason gave us a couple good ones tonight.
Yes.
So had a dunk, couple threes, I think. So, you know, Fedor actually looked good. He's starting.
Finally got a few minutes in the second half.
It's better. It just gets better every day. And you can really tell at practice he's getting more comfortable every day. And we used to have to call the play, tell him what we were doing in the play, and then run the play. And now he's getting it. So I can only see him getting better and better every day.
You know, people around me were sitting when Isaac had that heat check and made that one. I was like, you know, I'd like to say I'm shocked or surprised, but this is how he shoots them in practice.
Yep.
It just hasn't translated to the game yet, and now it has.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that actually, in practice, Mason is a good shooter.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just in the games he hasn't been a great shooter, but in practice he's just like he was last year. He led the Big East in three-point shooting, and he just hasn't. I don't know, just the lid was on the basket for a while for him. So it was good to see a couple go down, and hopefully he just kind of continues. And I always say he's going to come back to you got to help me, you're a math guy here now. He comes back to the mean, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, what the mean helped today was that first dunk, and I said, okay, that's, you know, so often. How often do you see it? Shooter's struggling, he gets in there and gets a layup, easy bucket, and then boom.
I always say that about free throws. Guys that we kind of got them shut down. All of a sudden, you let them make a couple ding free throws, and it's like, damn, here they go.
I thought you were going to bring up Jemiah. It happened the opposite. He made a few shots and then finally made some free throws.
I think we were 3 for 9 at halftime though from the free throw line.
Yeah, pretty unusual. I didn't even look at the final stat. We were 6 for 12, which is unlike us. They were 8 for 9. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it means we didn't get
They shot more than we made. Yeah. That's not good.
No, it's not good.
But hey, we won by 20. We got to be happy with that.
Yep, no question.
You talked about the pace, and again, it's just so weird to me these last 2 or 3 games. We have gone long stretches, not only non-conference games, but if you go back to last year's conference games, where teams throw up a shot and 4 guys are whistling down to the other end of the floor. And this year, some teams are trying to get some offensive rebounds against us, and we've gotten some breaks finally, and Kalk's done a great job around the floor.
Yep. He runs floor straight ahead as good as anybody does, no doubt about it. And he's got good hands. He catches the ball, and he's gotten. He's not quite maybe to a Christian Bishop status. He can catch that ball in the air and do things with it. It's no doubt about that.
Well, he's just so. When you're 7'1", I mean, it's like playing on a Nerf hoop.
Big old hands. Yep. So.
What's up with Trout kicking the feet a little bit? You know, I know you're a big guy on just stance. So
I was
that's
just
a new thing, right?
I told him the other day, Isaac, it really looks like you're really moving forward with your legs when you shoot that ball. And then he said, no, I've been doing that and I said to Mitch, who shoots with him all the time. And Mitch's like, no, he's been doing that lately. I said, well, as long as they're going in, brother, I'm all for it, man. So you can kick them any way you want to if they're going in the hoop.
And it helped them out one time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
okay.
What else stood out to you? The rebounding was 5, but the second half, it seemed that first or second possession, I think they got 3 or 4, boom, on one possession. So that's kind of different.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah,
I think they did get 3 there right away, and all of them we kind of had, and they blocked, and they were there. And I know Mac discussed it with him at a timeout. He wasn't overly happy about how that was rolling. So and then Mason fouled the guy the next time, and I was like, yeah, Mace, that happens. He said, Coach, I wasn't letting him get another offensive rebound.
There you go.
So
he got the shove in the back.
Got to use him.
Amen, brother.
Yep. Boy, they really miss Hopkins, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and especially, you would think by now, because I think he's only played 1 game.
Yeah.
But that they'd be used to playing without him, kind of like we got to get used to playing without Pop, same type of deal. But it's going into the year, they'd heavily planned on him being a huge part of their squad, I'm sure, because he's a phenomenal player.
Well, you can just tell when you look at them and they go out on the floor, that rotation just doesn't look right because they're missing that piece.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Probably, I'm not saying it's easy to replace Pop, but we had another guy that can handle the ball, so we can kind of work around that. It takes time, obviously, like anything.
But Jemiah's really made great strides since that time. There's no doubt, and he's been good defensively, but he's kind of getting to play like Mac wants you to play. It takes some adjustment when you've never played like that before, and he gets better every game at that, and you can really see him growing, into being more comfortable.
Yeah. It seemed like Mac was really pleased with that drive he took and then threw a 95-foot pass over Jackson's head. That was a good one. I'm sitting there going, look, if you're not going to shoot it, taking it to the hole that hard, then just pull it out and set it up.
We've been on Jemiah since day one about playing off 2 feet, and Austin knows he played for Mac. It's something that Mac's on all the time about, and he didn't play off 2, and so then that kind of sets Mac into it's always good to get him fired up.
Yeah,
There's always that one guy every year. This is Mac's guy. But like I said at the end of the half, I said, man, that's so Jemiah.
Yeah.
You follow the 3-point shooter, and then he comes down and hits a 25-foot closely guarded 3
I think it's the only shot he made all half, too.
Yeah,
I think he's 1 for 4 at halftime.
That's just how he plays, man.
That's how it matters.
Yep.
Yeah. But, yeah, so nice to get a nice win where you're able to get some guys in the game. You're able to do some rotations.
Right.
Yep.
What else do you see tonight?
Getting some points off the bench is something that really
we haven't had that.
No, we haven't. Once in a while Isaac gets it going, but that's it's just so nice. I don't even know what we ended up with. We had to end up with 29 points. Off the benches. That's huge when you can do that. If we can get 29 every night off the bench, we're
and it was 29-19, and they threw a lot of guys out of the bench too.
They did. Yeah, and they kept running guys in after Kalk, and they played all 3 of those centers a little bit. And
Oswin 55 is going to be a good player.
He really is. It was down to us and them.
I remember. That's when I saw the name. I went, I remember that name.
I know who that is.
Name.
I remember who it was too, and all of us did. But he did a good job. He's going to be a really good player someday. Well, he is a good player right now.
Yeah.
Well, now we head to Beautiful Stores.
Yeah, it's favorite place in the league.
Yes, sir.
That's your favorite place to go?
Yeah.
Got to take some corn with you.
Do you like there or Hartford better?
Hartford a million times. Hartford's a real town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
I chuckle when the UConn student body makes fun of Omaha. I'm like, have you seen where your campus is? It's a very nice campus.
Yeah.
But it's out in the woods. Come on, let's face it.
No, it's not easy to get to.
Yeah, no.
Can't fly into there.
Kind of like Penn State-ish.
Yeah, but they got good teams.
They sure do. What have you seen from them?
Really good. I mean, when they got Lee McNeely, that kind of takes him to another level.
Yeah, right.
He's been out. I don't know. He did not play last game. I heard he got out of his boot. But that's, I guess, where we're at with that. But when they're rolling all cylinders, that's, a championship-type team.
Yeah, it's a different team this year. But, man, they still got Caravan. And that dude, when he gets going.
Yeah. And inside, they got two big guys that are both adequate. Diarra's really kind of stepped his game up a lot this year. Last year they had him and Newton, but Diarra's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Balls really turned into a nice player also, which we knew he would. He just was a freshman last year, having to wait his turn.
You should be getting used to that noon Eastern start now.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I love noon starts, though. I really do.
You like that?
Because you get
on
home.
the road, you get home. You don't got to wait around all day.
Yeah.
You go play your game and get going.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get a dub.
Well, Lou, thanks so much.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you,
Awesome.
sir.
That's
Yes,
Coach's
sir. Good
Corner.
to see you,
Jeff
bro.
and
Always,
Lou, and
always.
that was sponsored by Care Minders Home Health Care. They're the title sponsor of the Bluejay Banter post-game show. Really appreciate all their support over the years. And when you're in need of care for your injured, ill, or senior loved one, reach out to Care Minders Home Health Care. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience. You will receive versatile, flexible, and customized care for your comfort, peace of mind, and well-being. And if you're not sure if you need their services yet, no problem. Go to caremindersnebraska.com. Check out everything they have to offer, so when the time comes, you're ready to give them a call at 402-532-1383. That's 402-532-1383. That's Care Minders Home Health Care. We thank them so much. Join us, Mr. Splash, Stephen Ashworth.
No big deal. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good enough.
Has the PA guy, or is this was a different PA guy than Jake, so he was saying Splashworth. Jake doesn't do it, just this guy did it, right? Or have I just missed it all year?
I don't know. I've heard it a few times.
Maybe
You might
Jake
have
does
missed
it
it.
then once
You
in a
might have
while.
missed it.
Yeah.
You might have missed it, Tom. It's all
I'm
good.
screaming
It's
and
all
yelling,
good.
going,
It's
"That's
all
my
good.
guy when he
Yeah,
hits
no,
a shot,
it's all
he's
good.
don't
It's all
hear."
good.
Had to feel good to get a couple go down right off the get-go, huh?
Yeah. It definitely felt better to see a few go in from deep early on in the game, and I put in the reps, so I know that it was just another shot, and got to keep taking them, and thankfully the opportunities kept coming throughout tonight.
Yeah.
We were here when Coach was here, and I was saying, people around me said, we're like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm not that surprised or excited, because when I go to practice, Ike hits those threes like that all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They just hasn't translated the game, and tonight it translated.
Yeah. No, it definitely translated, and he was a flamethrower, and it was fun to watch. Honestly,
The fourth one's a little heat check back over there in the corner, fading away.
Oh yeah, it could have been an and one too. It should have been.
How great would that have been if you got 2 and 1 threes in the same game?
Yeah,
He's searching for it, though. I'll say that, too.
Yeah.
He's searching for it.
Yeah.
The leg kick, is he not searching for it a little bit? Just a little bit.
A little bit with
Is
his
that
feet.
new to you?
I don't know if it's actually that new. Are you saying to me personally or watching?
Just kind of seeing his shot and knowing it over time of seeing
Just
that
for
actual.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he's within practice. I've fouled him once or twice.
All right, fair.
He's
All
hunting
right,
it.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he's
not baiting him.
Yeah, he's finding it at a really high level, and he does a really good job. And I think that his understanding of the offense and where he fits in with this team is just starting to click, especially in practice. And I'm happy that it showed out in the game today, because it was big time for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the shooting, but his defense and rebounding have improved so much. So you go back to last year to this year at this time, night and day.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he's really guarding the ball well, guarding the drive, and he has a tough task to where sometimes he's guarding heavy fours that are in the post trying to bully, and then sometimes it's their perimeter guards that are trying to get switches and then drive him. And he's been doing a really, really good job. And for all the young players out there, Austin knows well. The better you get at defense, the more opportunities you get on offense.
Yep.
Just more time you get to play, and IT's showing that, because his defensive intensity has definitely picked up, and he's gotten a lot better.
Another guy who's shooting good in practice, just hasn't translated. We're just waiting for the day. He got that early dunk, and I said, you know what? Maybe this is going to get him going tonight. And Mason got a chance to knock a couple down, and that had to feel great for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all know how great of a shooter Mason is. He led the league in three-point percentage last year, and, things like that just don't go away. But there's definitely an element to it to where, a great shooter just has to keep shooting. If you're in a little bit of a slump, just keep shooting, because, the odds are going to play out. And I want to say he was 3 for 3 tonight from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, maybe.
Yeah.
And so we know how talented he is, and he's just got to stay ready for when his shots come, because we need him when he's open.
Absolutely.
Must have been nice tonight. He didn't see a lot of pressure, so he didn't have to. Well, they had a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but not.
Different for sure.
Right.
When I was getting off it, they tried to top block and deny me getting the ball back. And so we worked on some of that with just some of our cuts, trying to make sure we could loop through different circle cuts and practice things like that. And then, their guards can get after it. I felt like the early foul on Pierre kind of toned it back, his pressure. He didn't want to get another second one, being their primary ball handler. And so that was nice to be able to kind of extend, some of that pressure and deal with it.
Nice to have your guy Roger out there again tonight, huh?
Yeah, my guy Roger, shout out.
Wow, what is that? 2 Creighton games in a row he's reffed. What's up with that?
2 at home in Omaha.
He must like the steakhouses here. I'll have to
it's probably his layover, He's going from the East Coast to the West Coast to the East Coast.
Hey, I can stop off in Omaha and do a game.
Yeah, exactly. A little connection.
I thought the screen and roll game tonight was really good. Just the way the action was, the fact that others were able to get around that screen and the rolling of the bigs to the hoop.
2-man's great.
Yeah.
2-man looks good. You just look fluid right now.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You seen anything else?
Honestly, just getting out the ball real quick, man. And I just think, is the ankle finally back? You feeling healthy there, 100%?
I feel like it's almost
90?
100%. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I feel like the few weeks off that we kind of staggered with Christmas and then also our bye weekend conference after Marquette before Butler was big time to just get a lot of rehab in, try to stay off of it a little bit. And that was big. But, I think with them being in the ball screen coverage that they were in, it was a big thing for us to really make sure we set up our ball screens well and then really the bigs hitting the guard so that the guards could get that separation and then put pressure on their drop coverage, because then they were indecisive of whether they're going to come guard the pull-up or stay with Kalk. And, I missed a few bunnies at the rim, too, that could have put them, an even better efficiency in our pick and roll game. And so I thought that we're executing at a high level tonight.
Absolutely. So you get to that midi too that I like.
Yeah.
I love that. But no, it looks good. I
Appreciate it.
I love it.
You went with, what was that one floater you threw up there tonight? That was a little, like a deep floater.
Yeah,
that
it was a deep.
That was a shot I hadn't seen you shoot before.
Yeah, so I was in between getting to the pull-up and getting to the floater, and my legs were a little fatigued, and I knew that if I went right, left there, I wasn't going to get because, like we said, the ankle's almost there. And I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to get the lift that I wanted. But if I was able to get just off my left leg, I was going to be able to get up and above, because he was contesting that floater with only 6 seconds on the shot, whatever there was on the shot clock. And so I knew that if I get off the one leg, I was going to be able to get up enough and get some arc under it and try to just float it in. And it's a shot that I work on a little bit, but it's probably the first one I've ever shot in a game.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Appreciate it.
We're talking with Stephen Ashworth. We were talking with Lou about just how sometimes you watch games and you just don't appreciate how much Kalk takes away from the floor on the defensive end. Because once he blocks one, now he's got about a 12-foot range where people are not going to go in, and that's got to help you guys on the defensive end, knowing that he's there. There's a big out. He doesn't have to guard him. He can help you guys a little bit on those cuts underneath.
Yeah, it's huge. And, I think that, like you said, after that first block, his circle gets even wider, and then after the second, it's even wider, right? And, they had a good rim protector as well, and you can tell that some of the angles that guards take are different because of the rim protection that Kalk has. And so it allows us to get back in front and, somebody just watching the game, kind of blind eye, just appreciating, the baskets getting scored, isn't going to see all of the impact that he has down low.
Absolutely.
But you go back and watch the film and you just see guys indecision, whether they're posting up or indecision in ball screen, because of all the things that he can do. And it's, it's remarkable the talent that he has on the defensive end.
Yep.
And, man, if they're going to leave him alone at 3.
Yeah, he's been working on it. Don't leave him alone.
I love the last one they made where everyone's, shoot it. And he knew the whole time he was going to shoot it. But he was just like acting like, I'm going to lull this asleep a little bit, make sure that defender gets back far enough.
He got time. He got time. He can take his time.
Yeah, the little time and score, too. Let the shot clock wind down. All the guards are cutting.
Now, you were talking about the freshman center for them, Oswin. Were you here? Was he came for a visit last year. Were you here?
Yeah, I was here on the visit. Got to know him personally and, was talking to him. Obviously, at the time, didn't know what Kalk's plan was of whether he was going to go into the draft, and knowing that we would need, another center with Fred to be, kind of the backup of Fred if Fred was going to take that role from Kalk if he went to the draft. And so got to know him pretty well, I'd say, actually, just talking to him and trying to lure him to be a Blue Jay, but he chose Providence, and you can see that he's had some talent and is a really good lob threat, and is going to be a really good piece for them.
Yeah, he's going to be a really, really, really good player. All right, well, now we get to go to UConn, baby.
There we go. Headed on the road again.
Game you want. I know you're looking forward to.
Big time.
Yeah. Big time game on the road. Obviously, very talented team, high ranked. A big one for the conference standings as well. And so there's a lot on the line out there on Saturday. And I'm excited to get into the film and really dig into what we can do offensively and defensively to try to come out victorious.
Still a couple of familiar faces from last year, Diarra and Caravan. So
yeah. Yep.
Johnson in the middle.
Yeah, some pieces that we know, and then some transfers and some not newcomers, but guys who have really stepped up into bigger roles. Solomon Ball's been playing really well for them.
Did you play against St. Mary's when you were out at Utah State?
I did, but Mahaney wasn't there yet.
Mahaney wasn't there. Okay.
And so he was a very talented player at St. Mary's for them, and now at UConn, and so he's just a threat as well when it comes to pick and roll. He's prolific in that, and so there's going to probably be a few different coverages that we're going to have to execute against their different guards with Diarra and him and Ball. All those guys are talented, and then you try to focus on all them, and then you got also Caravan and Johnson.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, shout out to your Aggies, huh? They keep rolling.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what.
They had a battle with Boise the other night, though.
Yeah, they did. It was a good game. I didn't stay up for all of it. It's too late. Those Mountain West tips are 9 p.m. here.
That's my.
I know that's your bread and butter.
That's my bread and butter.
I do have to give a shout out to my guy Mason Falstaff. He's been hooping. He was the young freshman when I was there, and then the Herd as well. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the social media of the Spectrum and its magic. It's real.
I was watching that game. They're pretty vocal.
Yeah,
pretty vocal.
There's some hot mics in the Spectrum. That's for sure.
All right. Well, rest up tomorrow.
We'll do.
Have a good week of practice, and let's go get one out there at UConn. That'd be huge.
All right. Appreciate you,
buddy.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Stephen Asworth, sponsored by Discount.
Keep the confidence.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Discount Window and Door of Omaha. I want to thank them so much for being a sponsor. Hey, if you're looking for new windows, this is the place to go. Trusted reputation with years of industry experience and solid reputation for excellence. They earn the trust and loyalty of homeowners that separates them from other window companies in Omaha. So check them out, 402-884-8989. That's 402-884-8989. They put windows in my house. You will love the windows they put in your house as well. So check them out. That's Discount Window and Door of Omaha, 402-884-8989. We had some good chats there, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it how Ashworth went to you and went, hey, what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Tim, I kind of built the ground they walk on in a lot of senses, so we'll just keep it real there. But but you could say there's a lot of film that
I had to open that door, didn't I?
There's a lot of film that they've been watching that I'm seeing a lot. There's a lot that you could see definitely that I did in transition that he's now bringing to the game. That is one, helping them, two, having a big like caulk, right? That I think is just providing them a lot of success in a lot of ways.
I thought when he asked you that, I'm like, oh man, you sure you want to go there, Stephen? Because you're going to get a dissertation about how he did it in his day.
No, that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear how he's going to be successful, and I think he's doing the right thing. They're watching a lot of clips too, of course, of what we did that made us good in a lot of ways, and just how he could translate that with a big like caulk.
That's not true. I want to hear how good you were though.
No,
because I never get to hear that. I never get to hear that.
You got to pay for that one. But I just
you're the best, buddy.
They're great.
You're the best.
They're great. And I just think he's playing with a lot of confidence, and I think he's finally starting to look healthy again, right? And now we're like, have you talked of being able to get off the ball, being able to move without the ball and get back to it quickly, especially not having pop, is going to be huge, right? And him shooting 19 to 20 plus shots I just think that's going to be something to go down the line. So some nights it might not look great, but most nights You know, he's like we talked with Lou there. Get back to that mean, and he'll still be around 50%. So
think about it. He shot 31 threes in the last 3 games.
I'm not too mad at that.
No, I'm not either. They're not like they're forcing.
They're not bad
they're
shots
wide
at all.
open looks.
You know, and I think some of that too. His shot selection has gotten a little bit better over the past couple games too, to where he is shooting at a little higher clip, but. That's what he does. He's a shooter, and you gotta launch it.
I'm way more excited about that 10, 15-footer he's able to get in the lane.
Yes.
He's been hitting that at a high clip.
Yeah, and today
that's going to play big dividends.
Today I really saw him like making that a vocal point of that was a point of emphasis. Definitely with that drop coverage, knowing that mid-range is going to be there. That's generally the space where teams are going to allow you to have the bucket, and I just think that's somewhere of where that was my bread and butter, and that's something of like somewhere that shoots at high clips beyond the arc. You should be able to hit 9 out of 10 of those. So generally, you should be able to walk away with 8 points or so from that area, and I just think that's somewhere he can capitalize and definitely provide some value.
I'm trying to think who had the sweetest shot. You got more height on your jump shot.
I heard Buford had a nice little mid range.
Rodney was.
Nice. Nate Funk as well had an amazing.
Nate Funk had the sweetest shot I've ever seen of any Creighton player.
Yep.
I mean, that ball very similar actually to Ashford's rotation of his ball.
Yes.
Nate Funk's was so pretty.
Yes.
It was just
the way it came off fingertips.
He was a lot bigger than Steven, so he's 6'4", and it was
a sweet
the
stroke.
form it was Jerry West like.
It was a sweet stroke. Yeah. And I think we were all a little disappointed he put the ball down, but
Buford doesn't get the credit he deserves. He was with that Dana team that kind of transformed the whole thing and got it all going where it is today. Yeah. And Buford was just an incredible player. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could shoot it. He could take you off the dribble. He could power it down low. He could rebound. He was something. He was something. And, in those days in the Valley, there weren't a lot of guys like him, 6'5", 6'6", built like he was, and still be able to move like he could. Right. He was something else. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. We've got the chat down below. Make sure you give us your questions and comments. We've got a couple, so we'll hit those right now before we get into some of our other features. First one up from Zach. I'm not sure which shot was more difficult, Jemiah at the end of the first half or Fedor's shot off the top of the backboard that went down.
I'd say Fedor got a little lucky there. And Jemiah was more or less, it was late second shot clock, so he probably wasn't thinking about it. It was subconscious, and it just kind of came out the hands. And
I thought that when they hit the shot clock on Fedor's, I was like, they're going to wave that off. But it did not.
The contact there kind of caused it a little bit to go off path. But
it was great. Has Jemiah's transition to almost a pseudo point guard been part of the plan for him, or was it a role he slid into? I would say yes and yes.
It's a little both. A little both for sure. And of course, we talk about Pop missing, right? But as Lou talked about, coming to 2 feet has been huge for him, anyways. And then just being that secondary ball handler that we need, right? And I think early on in the year, we saw something of Ash kind of having some high turnovers that it was necessary for other individuals to be able to play make. So I just think that was just somewhat of the way the fold has happened. But I think now he's kind of finding his way, and as Lou touched on, he's just kind of getting into playing and the way Mac wants him to play, which is still going to take a couple more games, definitely. And I think this is going to be a huge game too on the road, with this team, this collective unit too, to finally see if it's locked in as a whole, and I think generally where he shines is, when he's playing well defensively, as Ashford touched on, then, offense kind of takes care of itself. And I think that's what happened tonight. He was playing somewhat well defensively, hadn't scored one in the first half, was able to come down and have, good confidence there and knock that in before the buzzer. So.
Yeah, and I would say, I think I think Pop's absence kind of freed him up a little bit.
Absolutely.
I think if you look back some tape of the first 3, 4, or 5 games, you could see him being very hesitant when he got that ball in the wing.
Yep.
Well, I need to get it back to Pop, or I don't want to take it in here because I don't know. These guys are kind of, trying to get into the paint. I don't want to interrupt them. And I think it's kind of freed him up a little bit that he's able to do more of his thing right now.
You got to think we're in a different era, right? So some of these guys, like, you're paid to play, right? So this guy needs the ball. So some of that it just comes with it, right? And now kind of being, one of those main individuals that needs to actually score the ball and play make, it more or less gives, I guess, a little more confidence too in that regard.
Bring up a point. What would you do you think about when you hear from guys that played in the NBA in the 60s, okay? And they talk about the salaries now.
Oh yeah.
So do you think about that, like when you played, like, man, how would I have been different? How
That's
would
a little
my
bit of
college
debate.
Experience been different? How would my after college experience been different?
Somewhat. But, I think I've blazed a path that, is unprecedented in a lot of different ways, too. So I wouldn't really take that back. But last year, being able to have jersey sales, too, so, of course, seeing that in a different perspective is a little bit different. But, I'm glad of, my place in the ladder. And, honestly, building a platform for these guys has kind of been, great for me. But, won't say that what they're making wouldn't hurt, right? Of course, for anybody. But, I'm just happy for, one situation, but I also think it's kind of gotten a little far too right. So I think there needs to be a median for the whole totality of it. But I would like to keep our coaches that we have around that are some of the historics, still stick with the game. And I think we're starting to see some of our legends leave the game because of what's going on,
very true. Very true.
And I think some of them saw the writing on the wall before it happened, right? The Jay Wright, the Coach K's, that it really, put an imprint on the game that maybe isn't for the amateur aspect of sports, right? And so that's where that debate comes up too of like, well, are they amateurs anymore? So that, that's a rabbit hole definitely to go down. And I don't know if we have enough time to really go on that.
It's tough when, there's a player being recruited by, like the old days, it would be the top player, the Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, okay? And then all of a sudden here comes Washington in and says, well, he's coming here because we paid him more money. That kind of throws the balance off.
Right.
And Coach K and those guys kind of liked it the old way when, they were able to pay the guy.
And not to, throw anything on my guy.
Let's face it. Everybody knows that. I mean, maybe you didn't have to do it at Duke, but you probably had to do it at some half tier below them,
Absolutely. A little shadier, but now it's, very transparent in a lot of different ways. But, too, it's putting some guys at disservice as we see Steve Lutz, kind of having a tough time getting those higher caliber players where – they have minimal resources to where, competing in the Big 12 is tough when you don't have the resources and maybe, the top 5 teams that, makes it a little different.
I don't know. I don't know. I text often with Coach Lutz, and I'm going to have to ask him, like, what is the Boone pick and influence still there? Because obviously he had $1 billion.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of it on football, though. I mean, that's his passion.
So that's Oklahoma State, right? And, being from the South too, that's what I've known Oklahoma State for. Granted, they've had a few different talents, and they've had a few different individuals that I've known have, made some decent money in my time. So, it's there in ways, but it's also too, not everybody has a checkbook that could just.
Who was the guard that Nembhard backed up? Cunningham. He went to Oklahoma State for 1 year, right? Like right on that?
Cunningham, yes.
Cade.
Yes.
Yeah, he went to Oklahoma State for 1 year. Okay, unsung hero tonight.
I'm going with Trout. I'm just happy to see some go through for him.
But, I mean, he might be a hero.
But I think that's just, I guess I hear you on there. But Trout or Miller, right? And I feel like Miller, that thing kind of is transferable.
Miller had 8 points
and just
4 boards, played hard out there.
It was that first one. It's like you playing so hard and you get this easy one, this tap out. You get to get on the rim a little bit, kind of like we talked about getting the easy one. That hopefully going in UConn, he might, surprise us a little bit and, knock something in that potentially put us in a great space.
Yeah. I think the part I look at is this is okay. Now we got him off that schneid.
Yep.
Now this is going to pay dividends, and it couldn't come at a better time. Going into UConn, and then frankly, we've got 3 games after that, 1 on the road and 2 at home that we should handle.
Big
so
games.
We can really make a move here. You know. Yeah. Worst call tonight.
You know, I'm gonna come back to Trout flailing the feet because I haven't seen it yet. And I've, like we said, we've seen him shoot a lot. We've seen him shoot in practice. We've seen him shoot the past couple of years. I haven't seen the right or left foot flail the way it is, and it's almost in a way of creating some contact, which if it looks natural to the ref, then good for you, and it worked out for him, which potentially could have worked out twice, on that last one, but I thought that was a bit questionable in a way, but it worked
I
for
was
us.
kind of surprised. I didn't see a whole lot of contact.
It was light contact. It was just more or less that, he closed out and met him right at his foot, and it wasn't that it really knocked him off path. Ball was already out of his hands and well out of release, but good for him, really, in a lot of ways, too. That could, help us in a situation that, could be down 3 and this guy gets fouled on a three-pointer, and there's no telling where that game's going.
Dougie got the
but
he
Dougie
got some calls too.
But Dougie had a signature fade to his shot, is what I'm saying. And I've seen him shoot, and generally he was more the up and down Ethan Rogge type of set shooter in a way of now it's getting to a place of, okay, now you're searching, right? And I don't want that to get him out of a different rhythm where now he's starting to, see some.
But as long as he's making them,
right?
Like Lou said, as long as he's not going down.
If he's making it, then it's fine right now. And so I'm not too mad at it.
To Asher's point, just from viewing it live for me, I thought maybe the last one he hit maybe was more contact than the other one.
Yeah. So I don't, it's tomato.
At any rate, big for Mason going forward.
Absolutely.
So Saturday, we talked about games coming up. Saturday is UConn at UConn in Stores. I don't know that there's a difference. I don't know what the splits are between them playing in Stores and them playing in Hartford. I know Hartford's, I think, a little bit better, bigger arena, and I think they have, I wonder how they, just in my mind, I'm like, how do they do the season tickets for, and they probably get different people able to go to a game in Hartford that aren't able to go to one in Stores and so on and so forth. But at any rate, I don't know if the atmosphere is better on one and another, but at least it's another 11 a.m. tip here locally.
Yep.
So I would highly suggest you come down here, watch the game. Come down, watch a game with me, okay? I'll be up in the second level.
Let's do it.
Parked right in front of the big TV right there.
Let's do that.
And then we're going to stroll in here and do the post game afterwards.
Love it.
It's on Big Fox, too. There we go. Setting up for – does Fox have – I know Fox doesn't have Saturday. I think they have Sunday football. So –
my Eagles are flying.
No, they do have Saturday football. So it previews the football. So
yep.
Your Eagles. Yeah,
Eagles are flying right now.
Saw some more videos of your wonderful fans berating some poor Green Bay woman.
Everybody has passionate fans.
What is with that?
everybody
come on. Don't start with me. The Eagles are renowned.
You're a Minnesota fan.
Yeah, the Eagles are renowned for having the worst fans.
You're a Minnesota fan, though, Tim.
And when we played the Eagles in the NFC Championship, many people went, and they had 70-year-old people getting full beer cans thrown at their heads. I mean, come on. That's not passion. That's just being a jerk.
You're passionate.
That guy, and by the way, they nailed that guy.
I hear you.
He no longer could go to any Eagles games. They sent that lady Green Bay gear, and I guess his employer is actually looking like, do we really want that guy saying the things he said working for our company?
No, I understood.
A little over the top there, buddy.
Passionate.
Now, that said, they looked really good the other day.
They looked good in the first half, I'll say. I'm being a stickler.
Yeah,
I think we held the court a little bit.
Their offense didn't, could have put that game way away.
I think we got conservative after a while. But, we're next game, and we'll see.
Yeah, I just don't know if the Rams have enough, because as much as that was a disaster last night for my team, I mean, our defense gave up 10 points right off the get-go. After that, we really didn't give up hardly anything.
Yeah.
I mean, a fumble ran back for a touchdown, and then we gave them the ball deep in our territory. So our defense pretty much shut them down. The Eagles' defense is better, I think, and so then they'll be able to shut them down now. Yeah, but like my wife was saying before the game, she just goes, "Yeah, I just get this kind of feeling like, remember New Orleans that year after the hurricane? They made it to the Super Bowl. They were kind of underdogs a little bit, even though they had home field. But, you know, it just kind of seems things were set up for them." She goes, "I kind of get that feeling with the Rams, like everybody's setting everything up for them." And
they got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Right? What they say, 45,000 traveled? Is that what I heard? 45,000 traveled to the game?
No.
That's what I was
totally false. There was more Minnesota fans there than what happened was they put tickets out for the Rams to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. At the same time, they put tickets out for the Arizona season ticket holders to buy them. Okay. There are so many people that are huge Viking fans down in Arizona. Like, I went to a regular season game. There was way more Viking fans there than Cardinal fans. So those Cardinal fans bought them for the Minnesota fans. So they said it was like 55-45 or 60-40 Minnesota. The problem was you only heard them in the first 5 minutes because then the Viking fans didn't have anything to cheer for.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Like, That's fair. They got a lot to cheer for, though, right now. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they handled it beautifully, and they went through it. And, sometimes these things in sports happen, the Yankees with the 9/11, you can go back to different things around the country that happen, and those sports teams bring themselves up, and bring up the city and everything. So it'll be interesting. I think we're headed for I would love to see a collision course of Philadelphia Detroit. I would love to see that.
Okay. I think since we got Big Play Slay, he's kind of got the upper edge over there. So I'm taking the guys.
I tell you what, though, Detroit, when they want to score, they can score.
Oh my goodness!
Defensively, I think you'll move the ball on them. But
they look amazing.
Yeah, and obviously this weekend the big game is, it's like a 3-team playoff. These two are playing off to play the Chiefs, but Ravens and Bills is just going to be beyond. I mean, that's must-watch TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not to mention the tons of college basketball games this weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Creighton, UConn.
Yes,
How does it get any bigger than that?
Yes,
On Big Fox, baby. Let's go.
At 11. So
Let's go.
We like that.
Let's
we
go.
like that early tip. So, yeah, we'll have fun.
I got to give a shout-out to my wife. So we were talking with Lou about Jemiah making that foul on the three-pointer when – they did not shoot well. 14 of 32. They kept jacking them.
Yeah,
I'll give
put
credit.
them up. They put them up. 12 more than we did.
I'm sorry, that was us. 4 of 20. I'm sorry, that was us.
Yeah.
4 of 20.
Geez.
And so, I was like, oh, man, there's 4 of 20, Jemiah. You don't want to foul that guy. And then he comes out and hits a shot, and my phone buzzes. I look, and I never know if my wife's watching the game or watching a Hallmark movie or went to bed. She goes, well, at least he made up for that foul.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I said, honey, I'm going to give you a shout out. That's the best call of the day there.
He covered.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. Great questions tonight. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us out so very much. But we'll be right back here on Saturday right after the game about 1:15-ish with the post-game show. You can come on down to Let It Fly, by the way, and watch our show if you would like to. And really excited about the opportunity ahead for this team, not only Saturday, but then the games after that where we can start getting a little roll. I know you look at this, we've played 3. By the 25th of January, we'll have played 3 conference home games.
Yep.
That means we have 7 left.
Yep.
So we've got some back-to-back possibilities coming up, and then later in the month of February, we got Marquette and UConn back-to-back. So some great basketball coming, and I'm a little worried about the crowd tonight. When I went to the cross-arc to walk over, there was nobody there, and I'm like, uh-oh, and looked around. It was kind of empty, but it kind of filled in all right.
Yeah.
Kind of cold out there tonight.
Absolutely. A little chilly, but, the fans thought we had a heady win.
The last show, I gave you the wrong date. I said Wednesday, and the game was on Tuesday.
All good, but, I honestly think I heard, too, we had the hardest preseason and just schedule as a whole in the Big East.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I honestly think we're trending in the right direction. And to your point, having these late home games is going to be huge, especially finishing out the Big East.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited, for the guys, going into this Saturday game, on a high note. having the day off tomorrow and then getting them back to work on Thursday.
Absolutely. Man, what got into USC, for crying out loud? All of a sudden, they've done nothing this year, and all of a sudden they're just blowing people out. And, man, is that Arizona team on a roll
Playing
all
for
of
the
a sudden.
city, man.
Arizona is on a roll right now.
Yep.
They're up 22 on Baylor in the first half. Wow, they've been playing great basketball. Some great hoops out there. Thanks, and if you didn't see it earlier, Marquette almost lost overtime to DePaul, won by 2 points. Oof.
Yep.
That would have been a huge upset.
That would have been a big one.
Yeah, that would have been the last place team beating the first place team.
Yep.
I mean, wow, crazy.
That
just
shows you
shows
got talent.
Any night.
Yep.
Any night. All right, thanks, folks. We will see you on Saturday.